Deadliest Catch star Mandy Hansen seemed like the perfect role model for every aspiring fisherwoman. She was skilled, brave, and resilient on TV, and had worked to be the second in command in a male-dominated industry. Everything seemed to be going well, till a gut-wrenching tragedy struck that would change the course of her life forever. What happened to Mandy Hansen? Join us as we explore the life of Mandy Hansen in a world of uncertainty. Brave Mandy, early life. Mandy showed many young girls that they could face whatever challenge as long as they put their minds to it, but she did not always have it easy. She was born on May 15, 1996, in the bustling city of Seattle, Washington, to her father and her mother, June Hansen. But she was not introduced to sea life until her mother divorced her father and married fisherman CEO Sig Hansen. He co-owned the fishing fleet Northwestern, along with his brothers Norm and Edgar. Sig adopted Mandy, and she took his last name. Growing up in the Hansen household, Mandy discovered her obsession with water. She loved spending her summers on the boat with her father, trying to understand fishing and its challenges. When Sig talked about Mandy, he described her as the outdoor and adventurous type. The kid just wants to be on the water. Anything she can do to be on the water, I think, is in her future, and that's great. I told her you don't have to be a crab fisherman to be on the water, he said. But Sig was scared of one thing and knew he would face it soon. He knew it was coming. He thought about the days he would look at his daughter and fear for her safety. Mandy was not your regular girly girl. She wanted to be part of multiple fishing expenditures with her father. She was not scared of the raving sea waves. She just wanted to glide against them. She was determined to learn how crabbing worked, which scared her father. He had told her that she could watch him fish along with his crew members, but she did not have to be part of it, hoping to change her mind. But Mandy was adamant. She would be fishing in the future, but she had much to learn. And who was the best man for the job besides her father, Sig Hansen? Who is Sig Hansen? Sigurd Johnny Hansen is a Norwegian-American fishing captain who was born in Seattle, Washington on April 28, 1966. He is the eldest of 3 boys and comes from a long line of fishermen, so it was easy to assume that Sig would continue his family's legacy. His grandfather and father started Opelio crab fishing in Alaska, and Sig joined them at the age of 14. He would go to school and come back to work on his family's fishing boat. After Sig graduated high school, he took fishing as a full-time job, working an average of 10 months per year in Alaska and the Bering Sea. Occasionally, he also fished mackerel and cod in Norway during the summer. Sig had no immediate plan to go to college. He was fine assisting his father on the deck because he loved the experience. At age 22, he became a relief skipper, relieving other captains on the Northwestern. He also did part-time work on other boats. 2 years later, Sig was Northwestern's boss. He oversaw all the fleet's activities. Sig's watchword was safety. He always prioritized the safety of his crew members, and Northwestern never had a single death record as an overseer. On April 12, 2005, Sig Hansen started a fishing reality show on Discovery Channel called Deadliest Catch. During 2 crab fishing seasons, the series showed a fisherman's life aboard various crab fishing boats in the Bering Sea. The fishing fleet's base of operations is the Aleutian Islands port of Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Sig wanted the viewers to understand what it took the fishermen on deck to bring them seafood. Each episode focuses on a story, situation, or theme on 1 or more boats alongside the background of 1 or 2 crew members. To make the show more interesting, the Northwestern crew competed with rival boats in the hunt for crabs in the Alaskan Sea. Commercial fishing is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. In 2006, the Bureau of Labor Statistics ranked commercial fishing as the occupation with the highest fatality rate, with 141.7 per 100,000. It is so dangerous that the U.S. Coast Guard stationed rescue helicopters at Integrated Support Command Kodiak, Alaska, and their outpost on St. Paul Island, near the northern end of the crab fishing grounds. The show has captured the helicopters trying to rescue fishing crew members who fall prey to the harsh conditions of the Alaskan Sea on multiple occasions. In the pilot episode of The Deadliest Catch, the death rate in the Alaskan Sea during the Maine crab season was revealed to average nearly 1 fisherman per week, while the injury rate for crews on most crab boats is nearly 100% due to the severe weather conditions, and over 80% of those deaths were due to drowning or hypothermia. However, the production tried to adjust the fishing rules to make the job safer. Sig had also been a victim of the harsh and isolated conditions of the Bering Sea. In Season 12 of The Deadliest Catch, there was an episode where Sig had a heart attack. He was at sea, and he was only about an hour from port when he started to complain of chest pains. At first, Hansen didn't think it was anything more than just some muscle pain in his chest and arm that may have come about from bad sleep, but he had suffered a type of heart attack known as the Widowmaker. It was a deadly one, and he could only clutch his chest in pain. In 2019, Hansen had another heart attack scare, which left his free members questioning his ability to captain the ship. Sig Hansen recovered from his heart attack and returned to Deadliest Catch the next season. He was not ready to hang his boots. Sig knew that if Mandy decided to take fishing as a profession, she would deal with all the worst possibilities. Anything could happen, so he tried to talk her out of it. But his conversation only made her more determined, and before Mandy realized the sacrifice of actualizing her dream, it would be too late. Mandy Hansen's career, stubborn till the top. The most difficult task for any career person is to keep showing up no matter what. Mandy knew she had to persevere. She also knew that she had to keep showing that fishing made her happy if she wanted her father to give her a chance in any way. At 18, Mandy graduated from Bishop Blanchet High School in Seattle and moved to San Diego. She later pursued maritime studies at the California Maritime Academy before obtaining a master's degree. She was adamant about fishing even when her father wanted her in a less dangerous field like her siblings. One day, Sig and Mandy were sitting in the car. Sig was driving when he tried to sway his daughter one last time. To distract her and welcome the possibility of another profession, he began to tell her how brilliant she was and how mind-blowing it would be if she went to study another course. "You've got the brain. You would do great in other fields," he told her. "I don't know why you decided to settle for fishing." Mandy immediately told him that if he planned to change her mind, he had failed because he only succeeded in making her more determined. Sig was still determined to change her mind, so he started teaching her slowly and taught her more about the risks. He talked about a helpless scenario where a crew member is in the middle of the ocean and is being attacked by a deadly fish or is drowning. There is not much they can do except to hope that a rescue helicopter comes to them before they die. He did not want to throw his daughter down the rabbit hole because he knew the job was dangerous. When Mandy understood that her father would keep trying to change her mind, she decided to look elsewhere. She had gotten job offers from other fishing CEOs who had seen her work with her father, and she seriously considered them. When Sig saw that his daughter was determined to take up fishing as a profession, with or without him, he decided to teach her well instead of letting her work for other boats. She initially joined the Northwestern crew as a greenhorn, learning the ropes of the fishing industry from her father and the experienced crew members. She knew she had to prove herself to remain at Northwestern. Within a few episodes of The Deadliest Catch, Mandy proved worthy of working with her father. She wanted to work with him and explore more fishing adventures. She then went on to become the youngest woman to ever fish on the Bering Sea during the winter, which was the most dangerous time to fish. When Mandy became a permanent crew member, she knew she would go on more fishing adventures. She was very nervous as she packed her bags in anticipation of the unknown. Things would be different. She was no longer a guest or a part-time crew member. But Mandy was very conscious of one thing. She was a woman, and there was nothing feminine about where she was going. What would the guys think of her doing her job? Unfortunately, Mandy had to worry about these questions, but they were real. She was not afraid to go out on the sea. But would the guys think that she was trying to show off or get ahead of them? Would they ask her why she was not in school studying another course? She was anxious. She wanted to make a good impression. Everybody watching the show probably thought she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. What bad thing could she possibly be going through? Even the crew members, who were all guys, might have thought she had an advantage. Could she make intentional decisions when faced with a tough decision? But isn't disrespecting a woman at work the first product of nepotism? They had already judged that she could not work efficiently because she was a woman. But Mandy was determined to continue to prove herself, and that's exactly what she did. Soon enough, she got into the good graces of the crew and she became a full-time deckhand on the Northwestern. One time, Mandy was floating with her father in the vessel when her life flashed before her eyes. There was a power outage, and the boat was just a vessel waiting to explode. A few minutes later, one of the crew members shouted, "Fire!" and they had to stay calm and manage the situation. If there were a fire outbreak, none would return to the shore alive. Mandy stayed calm and helped her father put out the fire. The crew was safe again and she gained higher trust. After the incident, the fleet's website needed to praise young Mandy. "She is charismatic, hardworking, and headstrong," it wrote. Her resolution and dedication to the trade made her a favorite among the fans of Deadliest Catch, making her a respected figure in reality television. Sig was scared for his daughter. He hoped the incident would change his mind, but it only made her more resilient. Mandy was determined to thrive in the fishing world. She decided to get a bigger license in maritime studies. This would allow her to operate on any big ship and make her a valuable addition to any fishing company. Mandy is a wise woman who understands that things don't always go how they should in the maritime world. What makes her different is her determination to find a solution to every challenge she encounters in her career and her ability to learn from every situation. She never gave up. Mandy's love for water was not a secret. Everybody knew that she loved her water adventures. But Mandy also desired to create a small family while pursuing her dreams. In a world of uncertainty, did she give up her dreams or succeed in creating her small family? Mandy Hansen's love life. You may assume that a woman like Mandy would find it difficult with love since she constantly found herself in the men's world. But Mandy maintained her feminine characteristics while working to the top until she became second in command. While Mandy still found the time to build a relationship despite her busy schedule, you would only imagine that the lucky fellow also thrived in her world. Mandy's husband, Clark Pedersen, is also a crab fisherman who works for her father, Sig Hansen. Before he got a job with Northwestern, Clark attended Washington State University in Pullman. He recently revealed that he worked as a deckhand and captain in training on the Columbia River after graduation and aspired to be a maritime pilot, helping ships navigate the waterway's hazardous bars, shoals, and currents. But Clark and Mandy did not meet on the job or in her father's boat. They met in the Maritime Academy, where Clark was in pursuit of his third mate unlimited license and a captain in training. Mandy was already familiar with Deadliest Catch when they met, but Clark was not moved. He was intrigued by what the young woman had achieved. In 2016, he joined the crew as a greenhorn. Their shared passion for the sea and its challenges brought them together. Clark was a good man. He supported Mandy in her dream to one day become the leader of Northwestern. He also became a regular member of the Deadliest Catch. In 2017, in one episode of the Deadliest Catch, Clark visited the Hansen family's Seattle residence to seek Sig's blessing for Mandy's hand in marriage. After getting Sig's blessing, he went to get his soon-to-be wife. He called Mandy privately on deck and proposed to the love of his life, and she gladly accepted. On June 10, 2017, Mandy and Clark were joined in holy matrimony in front of the Northwestern vessel at a fisherman's shipyard in Seattle. Mandy and her father, Sig, shared a special moment as he not only worked her down the aisle, but also served as her best man. The ceremony was full of joy as family and friends supported the newlyweds. The wedding was a mix of Norwegian culture and attire and American culture. The next episode of The Deadliest Catch briefly aired short clips of the ceremony. Then the couple went back to working on the deck. Clark later admitted that working with his wife and father-in-law made him slightly anxious. You want to perform at a high level, "So your wife and father-in-law are proud of you. It makes you step up," he said. You could tell that he was proud of what they had accomplished. They were a team, and things would surely get easier. But that was not how fate worked, or was it? Mandy had achieved a lot in the fishing world until tragedy struck and the walls came crumbling. Tragedy at the pinnacle. Although Mandy was a reality TV star, she kept some things about her life private. She was the second in command in her dad's company, married a loving husband, and had what it took to create a small family like she wanted. But she had yet to have a child, or at least she was trying. Mandy had kept a big secret from her fans, and at the pinnacle of her career, where everything should fall into place, Mandy dropped a bombshell. On February 11, 2019, Mandy Hansen, one of the popular faces in the reality TV series Deadliest Catch, revealed the heartbreaking news of her miscarriage through a social media post. She captured a photo of a white baby onesie and tiny crab-themed booties. "Though I lost you in my previous season on board, I still think about you every day. Words cannot describe the hurt and the love I still feel for you. May we meet one day, little one." She wrote that Mama's got you in her heart forever and ever, ending with a kissing emoji. She had miscarried during the filming of season 15 of The Deadliest Catch. No woman should ever have to go through the loss of her child. In the Instagram caption, Mandy expressed her persevering love, indicating that she was a fighter and not a quitter. She also communicated her hope to meet her little one someday. Mandy thrived on the support of her close-knit family and friends. Clark was as supportive as ever, but the next time she tried again, it would be a little bundle of joy, and Mandy would be financially capable. Let's take a little peek at her net worth. Mandy Hansen's net worth. With her skill and hard work, Mandy Hansen was able to carve a name for herself, along with some good money. Although the actual monetary figures have not been disclosed, Mandy started earning significantly when she became a regular cast member in Deadliest Catch. This income, combined with her earnings from fishing, her major profession, forms a substantial part of her net worth. Mandy also earned money working as a deckhand at Northwestern. When she became famous, she monetized her platform, securing endorsement deals and partnerships. Her estimated net worth is approximately $1.5 million, excluding the money she gets from endorsements and partnerships. With her continued involvement in Deadliest Catch and her work as a fisherman, her net worth is expected to continue growing in the coming years. But Mandy knew she had a greater responsibility. Her father was getting old, and she had to be prepared. Was she the next in line? Gradual transition, handing over. Celebrity fisherman Sig Hansen has been the main star of The Deadliest Catch. He starred in the pilot season and has continued to appear in the reality TV show, gradually handing the reins to his daughter. Mandy has learned a lot about sales, ship management, and leadership from an early stage, so the transition has been smooth so far. One day, when Mandy was captaining the vessel, she got her biggest leadership test, something she had never encountered before. In crab fishing, before dropping a crab pot into the sea, two men go overboard to mark its location and provide a lifeline to pull it out later. During one routine drop exercise, the boat crew warned that a hook had worked loose while the Northwestern was traveling too quickly to fix it. The deckhands desperately tried to tell Mandy to slow down, but her attention was elsewhere. Suddenly, an alarm went off on the vessel, prompting Mandy to slow down. Seconds later, the hook snagged off its rope and went for those on the boat at an alarming speed. The crew members on the boat quickly ran for cover, just before the hook reached where they had been standing. Luckily, nobody was harmed, but the accident caused some tension. Somebody could have gotten hurt if the crew members had delayed running for cover for a few more seconds. Mandy was terrified. Thankfully, no one was injured, and Mandy learned a valuable lesson from what could have been a disaster. Minutes before the scene, deckhands were on camera expressing their concerns for Mandy's and the crew's safety while she was captaining the vessel by herself. Sig was on break then, but the crew members had told him about the incident. When Sig returned from his break, he gave Mandy a harsh lecture, and she promised to be more careful. Amid all the hectic activities, Mandy found time to work towards creating a family, and she would soon fulfill her lifelong dream. A little bundle of joy. Mandy's miscarriage did not deter her from trying to have a baby. As we established earlier, the young fisherwoman was a fighter, not a quitter. Mandy and her husband, Clark Pedersen, welcomed baby daughter Sailor Marie Pedersen at 8:24 p.m. on Wednesday, November 10. They were overjoyed as they shared beautiful photos from the delivery room. The newborn weighed 8 pounds at birth and measured 21.5 inches long. A week later, Mandy was officially ready to introduce her newborn. In a short caption, she expressed how bringing a child into the world made her feel. She wrote that bringing a child into this world is the most incredible feeling. Mandy also talked about the importance and the responsibility of parenting a child. Every way you think changes when you hold your baby. You instantly know nothing is more important than protecting their life. It took a long week in the hospital, but she concluded we could finally introduce Sailor Marie to our world. Mandy also gave insight into why she named her baby Sailor. We wanted something that reflected our family's Scandinavian heritage, lifestyle, and profession. With my husband and I both working as commercial crab fishermen in the Bering Sea of Alaska, naming our daughter Sailor Marie is a perfect fit, she said. Even when her life did not go as planned, Mandy worked tirelessly towards her goal, resulting in a little bundle of joy. Soon enough, Sig came over to see his granddaughter, and he was very emotional. He rocked her a little, watched as she moved her little arms, and yawned. Emotional Sig, who admired her every move, admitted that moments like that made their work harder. It will be a little while until we're back out at sea. Moments like this do make it harder to go back up there and go fishing, but that's all we do. He said that's all we know how to do, and that's the way it is. Sig then asks his daughter, Mandy Hansen, "So what's more painful, crab fishing or having a baby?" "Crab fishing," she replied, laughing. But she knew what was going to happen next. Her father knew too. But her fans could not imagine what was coming. Mandy's legacy was soaked in resilience and diligence. Even Sig Hansen could not get in her way. Soon after Mandy had nurtured her baby, she returned to the deck and Deadliest Catch to the stinging surprise of her fans. How was she doing it? She just had a baby. Many fans thought she would end the show after she had her baby, but Mandy had other plans. She represented her father at Northwestern, and she would continue his legacy. Mandy lives a hazardous commercial fishing life requiring skills and competence at sea. As the waves of uncertainty continue to cross her path, Mandy remains a beacon of hope for young and aspiring women who want to step out of the box and become a shining light in any male-dominated industry. Her life reflects the sacrifice and hard work to achieve one's dream. It also reflects her adaptability and bravery as she worked to the top. Despite her mistakes, Mandy got one thing right for sure. She rode against the roaring waves. Mandy is also known for her philanthropic efforts. She is actively involved in various charitable causes, particularly those related to marine conservation and the welfare of fishermen. Thank you for watching. Comment to share what you think about Mandy's legacy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos.